That right there is the face of a 3-time Super Bowl champion. Yeah, I seen this. This was one of the big stories ultimately before the game ended up going into overtime, which is tremendous. Second game ever in history to go to, an extra frame. But this is a big tell. All of those trad cuck influencers that are out there, okay, the people that just want to scream from the rooftops, oh my God, he took money from Bud Light and he took money from Pfizer. It's like, yeah, we can go ahead and criticize them for that. But guys getting fired up, professional athletes getting fired up on the sidelines, guys acting like guys, getting in each other's faces, maybe getting a little physical. Yeah, I don't really think that that's cause for concern or anything like that. I seen the clip. I could show you the clip, but the NFL, the NFL is going to be the NFL, and they're going to go ahead, even if it's cropped out, even if it's off to the side. But Travis Kelce getting right up close to his head coach, yelling and screaming based on, I don't know, something that was going on at the time. It's like, yeah, this is the Super Bowl. It's a high-pressure event. We get it. This is the 5th time in 3 years that you guys are at the big dance, but, I'm sorry, 4th time in 3 years. You just won the 3rd out of 5 Super Bowls, which congratulations to you, okay? I'm not even a Kansas City Chiefs fan like that, and hell, you can kind of tell based on some of the stuff in my background what team I would have been cheering for if I was watching the game, but, when it's apolitical, and it hasn't been for a very long time, I'm a sports fan first. I like good sporting events, just like movies. I haven't been a movie fan for a long time, but I like good movies, right? Controversial statements. And you know what? I like athletes who are passionate about the games. I like actors who are passionate about their projects. It also just so happens I like politicians who are passionate about their country and their jobs. And speaking of which, oh boy, old gaff machine Biden, he's definitely had himself a time, but instead of just doing, little, let's laugh at the old man, the DOJ came out and said that he's mentally compromised. It's like, yeah, we've known that for not just 3 years, not just for a presidential reign, okay? We've seen that Joe Biden's been Joe Biden. Like, it's been a saying for a very long time. Hell, there's that famous routine that is now making the rounds again from, Robin Williams. I think that's from Live in Broadway. Back when Joe was an aspiring VP candidate, it's like, Joe's not all there. And there are clips after clips after clips. There are collections after collections after collections of Joe Biden being mentally compromised all the way back from the 90s, okay? So yeah, it's not really noteworthy to say, the DOJ finally came out and said that, he has a limited memory capacity. He's not very good with his words anymore. He's slipping up. Until they do something about it, it's not really noteworthy. It's kind of like Ronna McDaniel. Oh my God, she resigned from the RNC. Great. The people who voted for the new chairman, new chairperson, new very wide chair for Ronna McDaniel, they're just going to go ahead and vote in somebody who's an equally big establishment hack, both theoretically and metaphorically. It's like, guys, things aren't going to change. The people at the top, they'll go ahead and get shuffled around, but until there's systemic change, that which the establishment is very much pushing back against, it's not really noteworthy. It's not really newsworthy at all. It's just a blip on the radar. Even still, we're talking about the biggest cultural event of the year so far in the Super Bowl, and Joe Biden, well, he couldn't even be asked to turn out. Wow, I guess campaign season has started off a little bit early for old Joe. Biden campaign defends skipping the Super Bowl interview again because viewers don't want to hear from a politician, as president released video slamming shrinkflation. Yeah, he had the audacity to say, hey guys, when you're out there shopping, if you're like me, if you've been surrounded by a snack or two while watching the big game, even the White House can't say the Super Bowl without getting a cease and desist, man. And he said in a 48-second video, oh my God, he couldn't do an official interview because, well, old Uncle Joe he might get sunsetted by the election time, which who knows what's going to be coming around. I'm sure I'll be doing some videos on that, but all he could do was a 48-second TikTok video. Fantastic. When buying snacks for the game, you might have noticed one thing. Portion sizes are smaller. They're still charging you just as much. Yeah, we know, Joe. And in fact, week on week, as somebody who does weekly grocery shopping, I'm seeing prices. I know it's a different country, but, basically the same problems carry over across that 47th parallel. I know, big shock, right? I'm seeing, prices rise by the week. is crazy. I don't even buy that much stuff, but the stuff that I'm buying is still being directly affected, and it's wild, and it never goes the other way around. But Joe's just now catching on to this right now. How are you going to go ahead and spin that into actually that's Trump's fault. That's Trump's fault. But we're talking about shrinkflation, man, where everybody sits down with brand name stuff, which, okay, even if you are sitting down with a bag of Doritos, a box of cookies, or Oreos, I guess. Well, yeah, those are obviously Oreos, or Ben and Jerry's and Breyers. Like, you get the most expensive stuff, and then you want to talk about, well, watching the big game, I sit down with 2 tubs of ice cream because I like ice cream and potato chips and Tostitos, and well, I just need to make sure I get all of my political sponsors into one screen, man. Like, what the hell are we talking about here, Joe? Is it a mistake for him not to do the Super Bowl interview, to miss talking to as many as 60 million people? Meet the Press host Kristen Welker asked, I don't know, some dork on a Sunday morning interview. No, I don't think so. I think people really want to watch the Super Bowl tonight. Think about football. Yeah, no, exactly. People just want to unplug it. They just want to sit in front of their couch where they're just going to be inundated with somebody who makes constant political statements. And that's just, and I'm only just talking about the cutaways off the field. But it all started with the beginning of the game as Megyn Kelly, who obviously tries to make everything about herself. The so-called black national anthem does not belong at the Super Bowl. We have a national anthem and it includes everybody. So yeah, you couldn't be helped. If you were just simply sat down with all of your shrinkflated snacks and stuff, you were immediately hit in the face with modern day identity politics. So yeah, you couldn't even escape that. But everybody just wants to escape by tuning into one of the most overtly politicized professional sporting leagues in recent years. It makes a lot of sense to me, right? But why not just lean into it at this point in time, right? And okay, if you want to go ahead and you want to have your 2 cents thrown in, hell, just go in whole hog. And only one guy on earth can do that. And you know who we're talking about. Trump calls Travis Kelce, he's a liberal, folks. He trashes Taylor Swift for being, she's disloyal after he made her so much money. I made her so much money, guys. It's crazy. I made her a lot of money. People tell me how much money she made off of me. And then I say, did she actually make that much money? They tell me, yes, Mr. President, she did make that much money. And I just say, disloyal. She's so disloyal after I made her so rich, so famous. That's not all Trump had to say. Donald Trump kicked off Super Bowl Sunday by bashing Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift in a rant on social media, branding the Kansas City Chiefs star a liberal and his singer-songwriter girlfriend disloyal. But you take a look at the modern Taylor Swift recordings and you realize that she's not so much of a songwriter anymore. But don't worry about that. Don't worry. Trump took credit for Swift's meteoric success. Hey, man, if you're going to lie, make it a big one, of her ongoing Eras Tour and recent Album of the Year Grammy win, claiming he, the former president, was actually the man who made her so much money. I signed and was responsible for the Music Modernization Act for Taylor Swift and all other musical artists. Joe Biden didn't do anything for Taylor. Never will. Never will. They just want to pay her a lot of money. Her, them, and Disney. It's crazy how much they want to pay her. Just crazy. But the MMA, which was passed in 2018, modernized copyright laws to give artists more protections in the era of digital music distribution. Well, that would be a great thing, and too bad Trump wasn't president around the time to really positively affect Michael Jackson, and then, well, we wouldn't have to worry about other people being erroneously labeled the king of pop. That makes me sick to my stomach. There's no way there's no way that she could endorse crooked Joe Biden, the worst, most corrupt president in the history of our country, and be disloyal to the man that made her so much money. But then, I don't listen to any of her music. It's terrible music. That's what people tell me. But they say, hey, Mr. Trump, President Trump, they tell me that her songs are all about the bad choices that she makes in bed. And then I hear she's going to go ahead and endorse. She's going to go out there and endorse Uncle Joe, Crazy Joe, Crooked Joe Biden. And then when she makes a career out of writing songs about her bad choices in bed, it makes a lot more sense why she would endorse old crooked Joe Biden. It makes so much more sense, folks. Besides that, I like her boyfriend, Travis, even though he may be a liberal and probably can't stand me. That's very much different than the way that the headline was there. It's like, oh, he called him a liberal. And he's like, I like Travis. kind of buried the lead on that one. Swift, who endorsed President Biden, and also had this cringe video where she was sitting like an absolute child cross-legged on a couch going, Donald Trump's a bad man, has gone super viral over the latest, a relationship with Kelce, which it's going to be interesting to see how this, relationship ultimately, dissolves by the end of the year when Travis retires as a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and well, they're not going to get the same amount of television presence now that the Grammys are done, and now that the NFL season will be on hold for the rest of the year. It'll be very interesting to see how long this ticking clock has left. But anyways, has gone super viral. The Chiefs tight end, who is set to play in the Super Bowl Sunday evening, won his third championship. Congratulations. Yes, the Dark Brandon, a super AstroTurf Twitter account. Keep dreaming, Donnie. I think it's hilarious. Pop music darling, who has also weathered a string of bizarre conspiracy theories, including one from social media user who alleged that, yes, the Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor. Yeah, I alluded to that in one of the videos. That might have been Saturday's, like just this past Saturday's video. But it's like, guys, for as long as I can remember, I'm of a certain age where Taylor Swift was really starting to take off, especially in, that singer-songwriter, country music type genre. So I seen the chicks back when I was in high school really gravitate towards Taylor Swift, and a lot of them making terrible decisions, having more tattoos and personality traits, all being single and childless into their 30s. It's like, her popularity is very much organic. It is just, it's hitting hard right now because she's still as popular as she ever was. It's just the rest of the entertainment industry, everything else is just precipitously fallen off. But regrettably and unfortunately, I know that there's going to be at least a little bit more when it comes to some of the commercials that came out of the Super Bowl. There's one in particular that I'm thinking about that you'll probably hear more about by closer towards the end of the week as more information on that one comes out. And then also, some of these ideas with how a certain political party is trying to capitalize on the overwhelming popularity of Taylor Swift and what other brands are trying to do now that she's going to have so much free time on her hands with, the NFL season going out, which is wild to think about. I am right here, just moments after the Super Bowl has concluded, and we're talking about the end of the NFL season and what its biggest star, Taylor Swift, is going to be doing in the offseason. Wild times, 2024. She is crazy. Super goddamn crazy. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.